What's up, everybody? It's me, Kyle. Welcome in. I want to thank everybody, first and foremost, for making it to Friday. It's a great day. It is a great day. But first, I want to give a shout out to God. Thank you for the platform. Thank you for the influence. Thank you for your love and your grace. You guys should really think about talking to God more often. But I want to let you know that, of course, I am streaming on all my platforms. I got YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram up. So I'm looking at all of you guys. I'm looking at all of you guys. And we have a journey today. The topic for today is service. We're going to talk about service. And yes, we're going to talk about money a little bit because I know money is a big topic for everybody. People who don't have enough, people who have business, people who want more, people who think that it might be that rich people are greedy and salesmen are evil and all this other stuff and don't know how to make offers, don't know how to scale. So I'm going to talk about a little bit about most of that stuff. Of course, this is just my brain, but hello everyone. Greetings and welcome. Welcome in, okay? A live stream means that you have me in real time. This is me in real time. Some of you guys think I'm AI, I'm artificial intelligence. It's me, I'm real. It's me. But nonetheless, okay, let me know where you guys are viewing from, what country, what city, or if you don't want to do that, what state. Are you on planet Earth? No, I'm playing. Okay, that's just funny. All right, nonetheless, okay. Service. Today's topic is about service, and we need to talk about service. I see Tennessee, Knoxville, Tennessee coming in hot from Knoxville. Okay. There's somebody else from Tennessee. I won't say that. Oregon, like the Oregon Trail. Somebody's from Oregon. What's in Oregon? For some reason, I think of potatoes when I hear Oregon, and I hear like the good off-grid living. But nonetheless, we're here, okay, in holy matrimony. Today's topic is service. So, we already know, or most of us know, that somebody from Nevada on Instagram, San Antonio, Texas on Instagram. That's interesting. Okay, lot of people from all over. Okay, thank you guys for your attention. Remember, your attention is the most valuable spiritual asset. The most valuable spiritual asset. Now, why? Because attention, when your spirit is paying attention, oftentimes, well, not often, all the time, what ends up happening is that is observed from either God or the devil, angels or demons. And what ends up happening is you get provision immediately after that. So if you are paying attention to destruction, an image that the devil will present to you, oftentimes the provision in your life will be lack. You will be worried. You will be anxious. And it's all on what you are looking at. And remember, looking is part of sight, but sight is managed by your mind. It's not with your eyeballs. It's managed by your mind, okay? Now, it's just interesting to me that that people don't realize this. That your site is something very unique when it comes to service. Okay, your site, what you detect, is something very unique when it comes to serve, like how you serve people. And there's a big, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. So there's a big misconception here. People think service is a form of slavery. Me right now, I am serving you. You're listening. You're taking in the information that I'm spewing out of my mouth. If I was tap dancing for you, being a clown, I too still would be serving in a very demonic way. Remember, fun is actually demonic. There's no fun in the kingdom. And you can call me the fun police if you want. That's not really going to stop me from teaching that. Remember, how do you know the word if you don't know the word? Fun means fool. It means to be foolish. So if you think that God is a fool, or he is in the business of being foolish or a clown show to entertain you, you're in the wrong business. Like, this is not where it's at, okay? So, and in no book, no peer-reviewed book, massively adopted in any sense of any type of human culture, has there ever been a staple that has told us, hey, fun is a requirement for life. Fun is not a requirement. It's just socially, we think that fun must be. And fun is not fun is not really ever required. Actually, fun is the most form of accepted procrastination. Quite honestly, fun is like mass procrastination. Everybody wants fun. Everybody does the same thing for fun, and it's like how can I procrastinate or stop many people's lives, their progress, all at once? Let's embed in their mind that they must have fun in order to survive. So we binge watch TV. If you're poor, you're broke, if you don't have enough money, you should not be binge watching TV. It's just the truth. It's just the truth, okay? There's no requirement for life that your life has to be easy. Easy is not part of life. It's not part of life. But since this is a live stream, you will get me chasing rabbits or squirrels down side quest, okay? So just bear with me. Do you guys like my mug? Let me get it in front. This is my mug. It's a lens. Kind of cool, isn't it? Got coffee in there. But nonetheless, okay, so serve, okay? What does the word serve mean? Okay, serve, it means to do a duty toward, or show devotion, or set the table. Okay, so it also means to be devoted. It means to offer. Okay, so when you serve people, you are offering something. And what is serve? Like, what is an offer? Well, an offer for anything, it's just an invite for you to come and receive the value here. Hey, I'm going live every Friday. You're welcome to come and join and watch or listen if you have time. Now, I'm not forcing you. And if you go live on your platform, you also can make the offer. Hey, I'm going live on Wednesday. That's just an offer. Now, the thing about service is so many people confuse that with slavery. And it is not. Service is tied to offers. And offers are the invite for you to receive value that is present here. So, like for example, I have many things that I offer, ebooks and mini courses, and I also have this live stream. I have free bi-weekly group Zoom calls with me. I have other things. I have one-on-one coaching. I have a whole bunch of stuff, right? When oftentimes there's a there's a misinterpretation and type of a snarl that I get in response. I don't have enough money for that. Okay, great. It's not forced. And because sometimes I talk about, that I care about how you develop spiritually in the kingdom, I talk about demons. I talk about emotions. I talk about spiritual gifts. And for some reason, there are some people that think just because I'm talking about the kingdom, spirits and demons and Jezebel, that my products, my services should not be charged. Why are you selling the word? That's what people say. Why do you sell the word? Hey, the Bible's free. And I'm not selling the Bible. If you want God's word in the Bible, you can go to any church. There's an app for that, actually. There's an app for that. You can go to any the Apple or Android app store, download it for free. Okay? I don't sell the Bible. So offers are like a soup kitchen for the homeless. And when you have okay, so when the soup kitchen is open and they're ready to feed the homeless population, the people who are less fortunate, they don't force them to come eat. They say, hey, food is here at this time. Here's the address. If you want to come, if you're hungry, cool. If you're not, don't. The Bible says the greatest among you will be a servant. So God will make you great if you serve more. The problem here is so many people are in their 9-to-5 job. They're in their salaried position. They're making $100,000, $80,000, $50,000, $30,000, however much or little, but they're not great because they're only working for one person. They're only serving one person, and that's their boss, the manager, the CEO, if you're that high up. This is why you don't feel fulfillment in the position that you are in. You need to serve more people. And by doing that, inevitably, you will make more money. God will pump more resources through you in order to distribute that. Especially if you have a business. If you have business and you have W-2 employees, of course, God's going to funnel way more money through you directly, and then you have to splinter that out. So of course, you might make 2 million, 3 million, first quarter, whatever. But the profit in that might be significantly less because of payroll, insurance, and all this other stuff, right? But some people think, somebody on TikTok just said, that I minister for free. And I'm not coming for that person because I don't know who this is. And I'm not even upset that they said that, People think that Jesus was poor, that Jesus had no money. That's furthest from the truth. Furthest from the truth. Jesus himself had a treasurer. He had a treasury department. Did you know that? Jesus had a treasury department. He just didn't walk around lavishly. He was not prideful. And remember the word pride, it means the love of display. Jesus was not poor. Jesus was not broke. He had lots of money. So much money, in fact, he had an entire department called the treasury that managed it for him. He didn't just have a bank, he had a treasury. Judas, exactly. Somebody on Instagram said Judas. I was just about to say that. And this is so unique here because we are made in his image. And remember, the word image means artificial representation of a person or a thing. So we are God's artificial intelligence. Isn't that crazy? We are God's AI. So, Jesus would walk around and people would give him money. People would donate to his cause. People would buy pieces of his robe, auction, pay good money for the clothes that he wore. But Jesus was not a prideful man. He did not care about how he was displaying himself. So remember, pride means the love of display. So there's no, people oftentimes think that there's a type of humbleness, a type of modesty or holiness that comes with having no money. There's actually a lot of things that you cannot do with not having enough money. So I want to challenge you. Where did you get this idea that less money means that you're closer to God? Some people think that, the love of money is the root of all evil. That's true, okay? The love of money. Are you in love with money? Have you replaced the demon called mammon in place of God, okay? The original word in place of money is mammon, okay? The love of mammon is the root of all evil. So mammon is greed, okay? Mammon is the demon that rules the deadly sin of greed. And greed and gluttony kind of are tied together, but gluttony is ruled by a demon called Beelzebub, the Lord of the Flies. But mammon, okay, is greed, and greed is the thirst for the chase. Okay, gluttony is the acquisition. Gluttony is the hoarding. Gluttony is when you can't let go of things. Okay, like anything. So if it's emotional and you just want to hoard that to yourself, okay, you're a glutton. if clearly, if you're like extremely overweight, if you're like 800 pounds, you're clearly a glutton. That's kind of easy. But mammon, when you are in love with money, when you don't go to God first, when you think money is the solution to all of your problems, that is when you are being led by the demon called mammon. Okay? But, and oftentimes, okay, so somebody on Instagram said, is it not bad that you're saying the names? It's not bad at all, actually. I can say the word computer. Does it mean that I will become a computer, or that computers will rule me? No. So many times in like modern day spirituality, a lot of us think that we have the ability to speak things into existence. We do not. That has never been the case. We don't have the ability to speak things into existence. And I don't know like the phrase exactly, but Mr. Myron Golden kind of broke it down a lot better than I can. But abracadabra, right? Speak, abracadabra is like a word, and which what you say comes to existence, comes into existence. Okay, we do not have that ability. If we had that ability to do so, why are so many people poor? Okay, why are so many people still getting cheated on? Why are so many people still living in the hood? Why are so many people still gossiping? Why are so many people still worshiping demons? Okay, like a clear example right now. I need, or give me $1 million. Okay, nothing came into my hands. So that means, with proof that you can see right now, I don't have the ability to speak things into existence, and neither do you. Okay, but for my children perish of a lack of knowledge. It doesn't matter if you don't know what the demon's name is, the demon still operates. Okay, the demon still has design. Just like, so here's my clever mug here. Okay, inside of it I have a liquid, and I might drink it. Okay, I just took a sip of it. Here, you take one. Go ahead, take a sip. Well, if you would have taken a sip without knowing what's in it, it didn't matter. Whatever is inside of that cup will still affect your body all the same. Now, it's just coffee. But so many people think if you have if you speak the names of demons, somehow you are going to invite them. No, your position in life invites them. Do you go to the bar? Do you watch pornography? Do you waste your money getting cake instead of broccoli? Do you gossip? Okay. Do you go to the gym? Okay. Alignment creates transformation. And actually, I'm going to make a post about that. Okay. Alignment is the thing that creates transformation. When you have a so if your mindset can only see things in the context of it's not enough, okay, then that means spiritually you are aligned with demons or the devil. If you can see with your mind your life as, oh, I have enough, meaning you're thankful. Because remember, the word thankful means content. And content means satisfied, satisfaction. Okay, so if you are thankful, if you understand, not just know, if you understand that you have enough, thank you, God, I have enough, thank you. Then what ends up happening is you are aligned with God, and God will then provide more of that. Okay? If you think and can only see the lack, then what ends up happening is I will not have enough, and then the devil or demons will provide more of what is considered lack. Okay? So I know I told you the whole rabbit chasing and the squirrel chasing, and I did it again. Okay? I did it again. So money. Okay? Service in money is a requirement. Okay, it doesn't matter. If you're doing God's work, He's going to ensure that you will continue to do the work. Okay, if you are doing God's work, He will ensure that you can continue doing the work, not by struggling. Okay, nowhere in any book states struggling means holy. Nowhere. So somehow, and I know me just saying that is not going to, is not going to, transform you today. But I do know what I'm saying is correct. Struggling oftentimes struggling is connected to mentally sacrifice. Okay, so I think this is where a lot of people assume less money means holy, and that means rich people are evil. Rich people are not evil. Okay? If you were rich and you worked hard to grow your business and you had 50 employees, let's say you made $50 million a year, and you had 50 employees, and these employees make over all your employees make over 100,000 a year. Okay, that means you are doing well. What ends up happening is there are people that will say that you are evil. How? You're literally taking care of 50 families. So the greatest among you will be a servant. If you are a business owner, like the spider using the tree to build its web, you can use the people to grow your business. Okay? Once you serve your employees, once you have an offer for them, hey, I have a couple of slots open. I need an assistant. I need an editor. I need a program manager. I need, a CFO, all these great positions. What do you think is going to happen to your business? Okay, what do you think is going to happen to your business? And that's exactly how God, that's exactly what it's meant. The greatest among you will be a servant. And not only in business, even in your relationships, okay? The leader, the follower, okay? The man, woman, child. God, man, woman, child. Pain. I know, pain. It's going to be pain for somebody, but it's still true. That's divine order. That is divine order. God, Christ, man, woman. And I was once in elementary school, okay? I was once in elementary school, and what ended up happening is, we had to line up to go out of the door to play outside, okay? We had to line up in line, one after the other, and guess what? I also learned in elementary school that the person in front of the line is considered the leader. So people who say, I put my children first. Do you know what type of spiritual declaration you have made? Do you understand what you have just done? I put my children first? So many people think that if the children does not come first, then the children will be rejected or neglected. And that is nowhere the case. I don't think any rational, reasonable, logical person would ever say that. Humans require maintenance. Now, what ends up happening is the order in the house is flipped. It's child, woman, man, God. It's completely flipped. And oftentimes when people profess with their mouth, oh, I put my child first, that's actually what's happening in the house. Yeah, you go to work, the children go to school, but when it's time to play house, you have the husband, the wife, and the kid, dinner's made, everybody eats, and it's time to watch TV. It's family time. And now the mom and dad are kind of cuddling on the couch. And what ends up happening is the kid comes in between them and says, hey, I'm hungry. Can I get a snack? And the dad says, no, you just ate. Let's continue watching the movie. And the mom, gets a little emotional, good cop, bad cop type stuff. And what ends up happening is the intimacy is ruined. Child came first. House is ruled by the children. This is exactly what is meant by divine order. But divine order also means something else too. Like this is like information trickles down from the husband to the wife to the child. Husband, wife, child. That's kind of how it's supposed to be. But there's a misconception, okay, when many people think that the child's not coming first, that the child is neglected, and that's never the case. If your husband doesn't come first, are you neglecting your husband? Are you neglecting your wife if your wife does not come first? The answer is no. Of course not. Nobody in the house, none of your loved ones are ever neglected. But your words have power. So when you profess, my child comes first, like how can your child serve you? It's a very spontaneous but deadly profession with your mouth when you say things like that. Because remember, words are spells, and when you talk, you're casting a spell. Either it's a blessing or it's a curse. The Bible says idle lips are the devil's mouthpiece. Idle lips are the devil's mouthpiece. What does that mean? Well, that means if you can't control what comes out of your mouth, if you just have to vent all the time, oftentimes that will ruin you. You will ruin other people's lives as well. Idle lips are the devil's mouthpiece. You must be slow to speak. Like, ever been around an old person that doesn't really say much? Maybe it was a family member, but whenever he or she speaks, it's like, whew, the whole room shuts up. It's because they always got something really profound to say. They always have something necessary to say. And it's interesting that we have now become a culture of speak from your chest. Say what you mean. Just get it off your chest. Do you know the spiritual consequences of venting? Do you know what venting even is? Venting is spiritual transfer. So here, let me break it down more. If I am feeling angry for some reason, and I can trust you, We're good friends. So I come to you and I'm saying, hey, whatever your name is, can I tell you why I'm angry? And you say, yeah, come on, you can always talk to me. Okay, so then I go on a 15-minute rant about, why I'm angry. This person at the grocery store cut me off in the parking lot. She stole my parking slot or space. I was just about to pull up, and oh my God, it's just upset. I'm upset now. I'm totally upset. So what ends up happening is that spirit inside of me that is creating the anger, more than likely it's Leviathan, the spirit of envy and pride, right? Because pride is the demon that protects. Okay? So if I'm venting and I'm getting that out, remember spirit means breath. Spirituality means the art of breathing. So if I'm getting all this spirit out, I'm talking, all this breath is coming out, and I'm getting all that anger out. Leviathan is literally coming from me to you. That's why after my venting session, I feel so much better. That's why after my venting session, I feel better and you don't. That's why after you listen to me, you don't feel so good. Now you're angry. You're like, oh, people just don't know how to drive. I'm sorry you went through that, Kyle. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Venting is dangerous. Idle lips. Okay? Idle lips are the devil's mouthpiece. This is why gossip is a sin. Gossiping is a sin. When you gossip, you are teaming up with somebody and supercharging a curse against somebody else. Oh, do you see Kyle with that gray in his beard? Oh, he's an old man, I know, it's just an example. The women say they love gray in the beard, and I don't think so. But luckily I keep it nice and neat, so I look decent. But I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. Okay? So, let me get back on track. Service. Okay? Service. Wait 1 second. YouTube, I see you, okay? I'm going to get to you in a moment, okay? If you have a business, okay? If you have a business, you need to make as much offers as you can. At least one offer a day on your social media post. If not, in every single social media post. And I mean that. Okay? Am I nervous? No. In every single social media post that you make, you need to have a call to action to invite people to purchase your items, buy your books, download your lead magnets, go to your website. Every single post. And remember, some people will get offended or tired of you making offers. That's fine. There are more people in existence than just that one person complaining. Everybody doesn't like McDonald's. I don't. Everybody doesn't like, Red Lobster. I do. Everybody doesn't like, everything. So in your business, you need to create offers. You need to let the people know that the value is present. Remember, offer, an offer, the way I see an offer is you you inviting people to receive value. Okay? An offer is your invite to somebody to come and receive the value. And help is not free. If you're in business, help is not free. I don't know where that concept came from. Help is not free. If you're hungry and you need to go get some food from the grocery store can help you not be hungry all day, every day. It doesn't mean that you can just go and take food and walk out the front door without paying. You need to pay. Okay? There's a type of weirdness when it comes to certain people and making offers. They have issues setting price points to their stuff. Okay, I have an ebook. It's called A Piece Called Love. Right, it's $15, and in this ebook, it spiritually aligns you in the correct direction. Okay, it talks about love. It talks about sex. It talks about forgiveness. It talks about spirituality. It talks about spiritual gifts. It talks about family. It talks about, leadership. It talks about a whole bunch of things. It's $15. I used to give it out for free because I was so worried about what people thought about me. I was so worried about how people would, look down on me. And in fact, they never read the book when I gave it for free. People don't value free. Why? Why don't people value free? They appreciate free, but they don't value it. And there's something that's completely different. So, value, the word value means intrinsic worth. Okay, worth given to this thing by the gods. Okay, intrinsic worth. So this is a wireless mouse. Okay, come on, there you go. Focus. Thank you. You see it. So I think maybe it cost $30. I don't know. Let's say it cost $30, but it's worth. The value is more than $30. If I had a presentation to do in like a TED Talk or something like that, I could use this wireless mouse and my presentation be projected on the big screen. And I might be like 50 feet away from, so that like it gives me the opportunity to serve way more people. So value is intrinsic worth. So giving things for free has no value, and I'm going to tell you why. Because money is currency. Current, okay? The current, the flow, the stream, okay? Money is only valuable when it is in motion. That is the thing. Money is only valued when it is in motion. Okay? How can I say this? So, when I gave my ebooks out for free, it was not valued and it showed. I would, send an email like a week or 2 weeks later to the people who I gave it out for free, and it was hundreds of people so far, right? And I asked, hey, what do you think about the book? Oh, I forgot, okay, great. Things happen, life, I get it. But the people who purchased the book on their own, some I'll come back and I'll ask, hey, what do you think about the book? Oh my God, Kyle, let me tell you, the chapter on love, it hit, especially when you started talking about mothers. Oh my God, Kyle, it's like you were talking about me, right? So if you are a business owner, there's a time and a place to do free things. Okay, they're called lead magnets. Okay, they're called lead magnets. This is where you give out checklists to the people so you grow your email list. So that now you can become recession proof and always have a group of people to sell to make your offers to. Okay. So remember, in business, it's not a race to be the cheapest. It's not. Your business should be about how much people you can serve. And the type of person you serve also might impact the type of resources God pumps through you. So if you sell to poor people, you you have don't be surprised if you have to sell a lot of things to poor people to be rich. If you sell to rich people, you probably only need 3 or 4 of them to buy, and now you too are rich. Okay, that's just an example, but I think you understand where what I'm getting, like what I'm coming from. Okay, let's take a little break, guys. I need some water. We're on a good race. Okay, thank you. Yeah. So let me just talk to the comments right quick. Let me get on YouTube. Okay, so let me see YouTube just right quick. Um, I have no clue what you're asking. Okay, so I think he, I think some people believe that because Jesus said it's hard for the rich to become. Yeah, so it is. It's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than a rich person to get into heaven. I've heard that too, right? So one thing about God is that he cannot lie and he does not contradict himself. So Jesus is not poor. Jesus was not poor. He had a treasurer, and I can guarantee you, Jesus is not in hell. We are made in his image. This should be a principle that you take to the grave with you. There's nothing wrong with being rich. Okay, so back on track. Service. Okay, who you serve to is vital. Okay, who you serve to is vital. And Mr. Myron Golden said that he actually exposed the 4 levels of value. The 4 levels of value. And of course, I can't say it exactly like him, but I understand the concept. The the lowest level of value is it's when you, the human, are connected to, or how you make your money through time and effort. So time and effort. Time is limited, 24 hours in a day. You need to sleep. And effort, you can only do so much. Even like, you're only so strong. You can only run so fast. So you definitely can only do so much at the bottom level. The next level is what is it? I'm just gonna call this level management. Okay, so this is when you start managing spirits, and you can be a manager at McDonald's. You could be a manager at Raytheon, making $300,000 a year, but it doesn't matter. You're still serving one boss. You're still only getting that one check. Okay. Next, the next level up, the third level of value up is creativity. No, communication. Okay, so when you effectively communicate, okay, you now can leverage social media. Back in the day, it was newspapers, but now you can reach people in South Africa from Virginia. You can reach people in New Zealand from Texas. You can reach everybody. Like, you can have 1 million views from a single TikTok post or a YouTube reel or a Facebook reel, and make $1 million off of one post. Okay? If you can effectively communicate, you can make so much money. A lot more than just being a manager. Why? It's because you're now managing way more spirits. Now, more spirits are being influenced by you. And I mean that wholeheartedly. Okay? And the top level of value, the highest level of value, is imagination. And this is like your Jeff Bezos, your Steve Jobs, these type of people. Okay, this is unique. But the higher the level you go, you have to master all the levels underneath. It's not just, oh, I want to be able to be a good communicator. Well, you also have to understand how to manage people. You also have to understand how to be a good steward of your time, and your effort. You have to be diligent. You cannot procrastinate, which is key for level 1. Okay. So, this is why YouTubers have so much money. Okay. This is why, motivational speakers are millionaires. They have a team behind them, but it's like they can supercharge their blessing. The more spirits that you serve, the greater you will be. Okay? It's just like that. But there's also a misconception that service. Oh man, I forgot. Oh well. So the more people you serve, the greater you will be. And if you have, okay, if you think that, or if your goal of service is to be great, then that means you are being ruled by the demon called mammon. Okay, greed. You should ask God for him to bless you so you can be a blessing. Okay, God blesses you so you can bless others. Now, don't give all your stuff away. Okay, that's not smart. It's just not smart. Okay, being diligent means part of diligent means you having to delegate appropriately. Okay, delegate your resources appropriately. Don't just give everything away. And oftentimes when it comes to service, or like you being a servant or a business owner, you need to understand the difference between provision and giving. Okay, provision and giving. Provision and giving. Say it with me, provision and giving. Okay, sorry. Provision, or to provide, it means to supply. Okay, it means to prepare, to supply the needs of. So that's to provide. But giving is something completely different. Okay, Giving is completely different than providing. It just seems the same. And if it seems the same, quite often you don't have discernment. And I'll talk about discernment in about 5 minutes. So somebody remind me. But give, the word give, it means to yielding to pressure. Okay, give means yield to pressure. And when I first started, with the ebooks and the online stuff, I was giving, okay, because so many people were emotionally influencing me based off their life story, and I was giving a lot of my stuff away for free. I was using hours a day talking to people for free, and financially, it kind of hurt me, okay? And the free stuff I gave, people would miss sessions. Like I would give free sessions that they would schedule and they would miss it. So I was like, okay, something's not right here. So I'm giving away, I'm doing stuff for free, giving, I'm yielding to the pressure, okay? On the opposite of give is take, okay? On the opposite of giving is taking, okay? The word take means to seize by force, okay? Seize by force. And force is not always physical. It can sometimes be emotional. So taking something from you, from your business, emotionally can look like this. Hey, I'm so hungry. Can you please give me a free hamburger because I haven't eaten in 3 days and I have 3 kids in the car? That is emotional force, okay? To seize by force. Now, clever is used in the process of taking. And if somebody calls you clever, you need to be offended. Cleverness is not a good thing. The word clever, it means expert thief or an expert at seizing. Okay, you are seizing, you are taking things, you are removing things against the will of that person in a very expert fashion, against their knowledge. Okay, so that's what clever means. So clever, an example of clever is, your son comes to you, asks you for a cookie, and you say, no, I don't want to give you a cookie because you just ate dinner, so you cannot have a cookie. So your son goes to your wife or your husband, whatever, the other partner, the other adult in the house, and what ends up happening is they give your son a cookie. That's called clever, okay? So cleverness is expert at seizing. You are an expert thief. You steal with professionalism. You steal underneath the radar. You remove the object without their knowledge, or you are able to persuade the other or convince the other person that they need to give it up. Okay, so there's a difference between convincing and persuading. Okay, when you convince people, you are making them agree that you are making them agree to do what with their thing, with their business, what you want. You are agreeing, or you are making them agree that, oh hey, I need that hamburger because I'm hungry and I have 3 kids, and I know it's not in your best judgment, like your best thing, but can you give it to me, please? Yeah, so I just convinced you. But persuasion is me telling you that you need to do this because you want to. And it might be something that you actually want. So Another way of phrasing that example would be, well, I saw on your online site that you wanted, or that you do charity events all the time, and you know, if you give me a free hamburger and hamburgers for my kids, I will do an online review for your business, and about how charitable you are. Boom, right? So that is persuasion. Convincing is like being clever in order to get them to do what you want. Persuasion is you getting them to do what they want, but it works out for you. Okay? Persuasion is better. Persuasion is better. Nobody loses in persuasion. Okay? Somebody loses in convincing. Okay? So, discernment. Yes, thank you. So, discernment, there are 3 levels, 3 steps to discernment. Okay? 3 steps to discernment. And I would say get your pencil and pen out or whatever, but you can see this on my YouTube after it's done. Okay? Because all my live streams are also posted to my YouTube. So if you're not over there yet, go ahead and subscribe over there. So there are 3 levels to discernment. Let me just talk about what discernment is first. So the word discernment means your ability to distinguish between 2 or more things. Can you tell the difference between an apple and an orange? Can you tell the difference between a tree and the sky, a bear and a lion? Can you tell the difference between happiness and sadness, happiness and joy? Can you tell the difference between joy and, sadness and depression? What about lust and greed? Okay. What about greed and gluttony? Pride and envy? Can you tell the difference between these things? And if the answer is no, then you are confused. The opposite of discernment is confusion. That is the opposite, okay? And the word confuse means to mix and mingle values or ideas, making them indistinguishable. Okay? Confusion, to mix and mingle values or ideas, making them indistinguishable. Okay? So discernment is when you can distinguish things. The opposite of discernment is confusion. There's nothing in between. If I ask you a definition of anything and you say, I don't know it, guess what? You are confused. And there are 3 levels of confusion as well, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. But discernment, the 3 levels of discernment are as follows. Okay? Or the 3 steps to discernment, not 3 levels. The 3 steps of having proper discernment, like the discerning process. Okay. The first step in discernment is observation. And observation is part of sight. Okay? Sight is managed by your mind, not your eyeballs. You see with your mind, not your eyeballs. A person who has no eyeballs can still see, meaning they still have an imagination. They still have dreams. They still have visions. Okay, all of that is underneath the umbrella called sight. Okay, so you have to observe. You have to be able to observe first. Can you observe anything? An observation can be, oh, I hear birds chirping. Oh, I taste an apple. Oh, I can feel the bumps on the road as I'm riding in my car. I can feel the wind running across my skin. All of that is observation. Okay, observation is not just with your eyes. So that's the first step. If you cannot observe, you might be in the highest level of confusion called apathy. Okay, and that's very hard to get out, and that's a spiritual thing. But the second step in discernment, so it's observation. The second step in discernment, as you're walking down your discernment road, is called verification. You need to verify. Okay? Oh, I hear birds chirping. How do you verify anything? So you hear it, you might need to turn and look at it. So verification takes at least two of your senses. Okay? It takes some cognition. It takes intellect. Okay? So if you have if you're walking on the beach or next to a mountain and you hear what it looks like rocks that you're stepping on, and you're like, I wonder if there are rocks underneath my feet. And let's say you have no eyeballs, so you reach down with your hand and you touch. Okay, I can hear and I can feel, yep, these are definitely rocks. Okay, so the second step is verification. But inside of verification, right? Inside of verification, you have another process called examination. You must examine, and the examination is the thing that requires more than one of your senses. Okay? Can I get a witness in here? Can somebody agree with me? Okay? All right, very good. So, the next and final step of discernment is certification. You need to certify. But this last final step is called certification, but we call it belief. This is where you must believe, okay? And it happens very quick. So observation, verification, and certification. The last step in your discernment is certification. So belief. So the moment you have or you believe a thing, then it becomes reality. So discernment is not a quick process. Okay, just because you can detect something does not mean that you have discernment. Okay, even in spirit, there's a process. Like when people talk to me and I'm like, next week's not going to be good for you. Okay, that didn't just come to me. It came to me, but then I had to do all of those next steps. Okay. Very good. So, discernment is definitely necessary for you as a servant. You need discernment because if you serve the wrong people, you will get the wrong things in return. And remember, we don't serve God. We only serve things that need us. Okay? I'll make an offer. Hey, I have this ebook on, procrastination, the war on procrastination. If you're dealing with Belphegor, Asmodeus, and Ashtaroth, and you can't finish anything, it's probably a spiritual attack. And guess what? I know because I dealt with them and I know how to win. I have an ebook. If you went and you bought that ebook, guess what? You need to get out of procrastination. We don't serve God. We please God. Because God does not need us. If like God doesn't need us to serve him. He just wants us to please him. Do good, be pleasing in his sight. Thank him, praise him, follow his laws and his commandments. Do all of that stuff. Okay. So if you serve the wrong type of people, you will get the wrong things in return. Okay? There, like, the devil has children running around earth as well. Everybody's not a child of God. I'm sorry. Everybody's not a child of God, and everybody's not a child of the devil either. It's just true. It's just true. Okay? So, I think I'm about to end this live, but first I want to talk to you about something that's near and dear to a lot of people's hearts: Jezebel. Now, Jezebel, many people call her a demon. She's demonic, but she's not a demon. She's a human. She was a human, and now she's not here anymore. She was a queen, and her husband was Ahab. Okay? This demonic entity is not a demon. So demons are not humans. They are fallen angels. Okay? They are fallen angels. And demons themselves, if you ever have looked up any picture, any depiction, or seen or heard any depiction of what an angel looks like, they don't look human. They got like seven wings, and one has like a goat head and this and that. Demons have horns, and one has goat head and like this and that, and hooves. That's not demons. They look more like what's that called? Your zodiac signs than anything. I mean, your zodiac signs are demons, really. That's what they are. But Jezebel is not a fallen angel. She is demonic. She's evil. Not everything evil is demonic, not everything evil is an actual demon. But things can have demonic-like qualities or demon-like qualities. We call that demonic. And Jezebel is not a narcissist. This is not the spirit behind narcissism. Okay, so I'm gonna make a post about this today, but I'm gonna tell you here on live so you can understand the difference between a narcissist and Jezebel. Okay, so a narcissist, the word narcissism comes from Greek mythology. Okay, and in the story of Greek mythology there's the water god called Narcissus. Narcissus. I always say it incorrectly, but it's a story. Okay, so the water god had a son called Narcissus, and the son was so enthralled, so obsessed with his own reflection in the pond or in the body of water, that what ended up happening was he stared at his reflection And he got closer and closer and closer to the water, so close that he drowned himself. Okay? He was so self-absorbed, so so arrogant about how good he looked that he drowned himself in the water. So his dad, okay, the water god, cursed him into a flower. The flower that sits on top of a water, kind of like a lily pad, cursed for all of eternity to look in at only himself on the water. Yes, the flower itself is actually very beautiful, but it's cursed to only look at itself, its own reflection. So, a narcissist actually is a flower. It's a flower. But the story comes from Greek mythology. And the characteristics of the person narcissist in the Greek mythology story is arrogant, self-absorbed. He wants the fame. He wants everybody to know how good he is, how powerful he is, how good looking he is. Okay. Narcissist is all about getting attention. Okay, any way possible. And if any attention is not on this person, a narcissist, he will destroy you, your legacy, to get the attention back on him. Okay, that's narcissist. Jezebel, on the other hand, means the shameless woman. That's what the word Jezebel means. And listen to me closely. If you are not possessed with Jezebel, then don't defend her. Okay, I'll say that again. If you are not possessed with Jezebel, then do not defend her. Because only a hurt dog hollers. Now, with that being said, since she's not a demon and she's only evil, her spirit, the pattern of her breath, remember spirit means breath, spirituality means the art of breathing. Her spirit, okay, her spirit has so much influence, so much that it carried on throughout all of human history so far. So how did she influence people? Well, she is the spirit of manipulation, seduction. Okay, she does not like male leadership. She hates teachers, pastors. She hates anything that controls her. She is a demon or a spirit, an evil spirit, a demonic spirit that hates to be controlled. But she loves to control through leadership. This is why the story of Ahab and Jezebel was told in the Bible. It is that important so that we can pick the principles out and use it in our own life. Okay? So, Jezebel actually hates attention. She does not like attention. So much so that she murdered prophets. She murdered the people gifted to see. Okay, she murdered apostles and prophets and teachers. Those people are the people gifted with spiritual sight. So prophets would come up to her and say, "You're going to do wrong things in life. You're doing bad. Get right. On the spot correction type stuff." And she hated it because that's control in her eyes. You don't control me, so she had them killed. Okay, that's the truth. So Jezebel, the spirit of Jezebel, hates attention. She does not like attention. Narcissists, the spirit of narcissism, loves attention. So those two things are not the same. Jezebel is not narcissism. Now, I understand why people call people Jezebel and a narcissist. But what ends up happening is they do that as an ad hominem fallacy. Okay, just because you don't like somebody, you'll say, "Oh, she's Jezebel," or you'll say, "Oh, he's just a narcissist." Just because you don't like them, that's called a curse. Okay, you're not exposing anything; you're cursing somebody. You're trying to get them to be filled with Jezebel, or you're trying to get them to be a narcissist. That's a curse, and you just sinned. So, and I've seen it thrown around all the time online, especially in these live streams that have the panels and stuff, or whatever. It's like, well, you are you're filled with Jezebel. It's like, well, is she like if you go to her page, is she posting anything? If the answer is no, okay, maybe she might, good indications that she could have it. Okay, is she being loud off of a correction video? Yes. Okay. Might be. She might have Jezebel. Okay. Does she use her body in a sexually seductive manner in order to target leaders? Right? Does she only want the six-figure man? Tall, dark, and handsome, a rich, man, only for his money. Okay, maybe she might be possessed with Jezebel. Okay, so a narcissist is not the same. Okay, it's not the same. Narcissists demand attention. If your attention is not on me, I will be so upset. Okay. Who was worse? I don't know. They're both poison. But narcissism is ruled by Leviathan. Okay? Narcissism is ruled by Leviathan. And Leviathan is the demon that rules pride and envy. And how do I know narcissism is ruled by Leviathan and not Jezebel? Well, the word pride means the love of display. Okay? Narcissism loves the attention, the love of display. So if you have anybody, and narcissism is not always something that feels bad. Okay? Trust me. Well, don't trust me. Just listen. Okay? You can have a narcissistic person make you feel real good. The love bombing. Okay? And now all you think about is this person. Oh my God, please come here. I just want to talk to you. I just want to look at you. You. And they also in turn are not trying to help you. If they're not trying to help you, if they're not trying to, heal you, if they're not trying to mentor you, any of that stuff, this is Leviathan. They are a narcissist in that aspect. Okay. Okay. Now I'm about to sign off. I have a couple of videos to make, food to eat, but of course I have a call to action. I have some offers for you guys. I have some offers for you. So I have ebooks for you. Okay. One of the ebooks is for the person who is in their spiritual awakening. This is called A Peace Called Love. It is linked in my bio. A Peace Called Love is, it talks about a wide range of very necessary topics: forgiveness, boredom, intuition, spiritual gifts, spirituality, spiritual warfare, family, love, leadership, mom, dad, marriage. All of that is inside that book. Okay, and the book is inside of the description below if you're on YouTube, but in the link in my bio if you're on any of my platforms. Okay, if you are suffering with the 3 demons, sorry, I only have ebooks. I don't have any physical books. I need to seriously consider that. So I have another ebook. It's called The War on Procrastination. Okay, The War on Procrastination, and the title is self-explanatory. If you are procrastinating, there are several ways that you procrastinate. But there are 3 demons that make you procrastinate: Belphegor, Ashtaroth, and Asmodeus. Okay, Belphegor is sloth, Asmodeus is lust, and Ashtaroth is pride and hesitation. Okay, Ashtaroth is a demon that many people have not heard of, but Ashtaroth is the demon that we all call the imposter syndrome. So that ebook is ready for you. Okay, if you are suffering with procrastination, and procrastination is it's not a habit. Okay, it's a spiritual attack because all life is spiritual projection. Okay, I have another ebook. It's called The Eye of the Empath. If you are an empath and you are struggling with overwhelm, if you get overwhelmed and don't know how to get through that ebook is ready for you to read as well. It describes what overwhelm is, how to get through it, and how to manage it, because your gift is not going away. Okay? So anger is not a demon. Anger is an emotion. Anger is the emotion that is rooted in the idea that you are losing control. And the anger, if you zoom in, there's more to anger than just anger itself. There's irritation, frustration, agony, sorrow, nostalgia. But anger is, I'm losing control, please help me. I'm losing control. And you try and snap existence back into a place. So like if somebody's standing too close to you and you can feel the air from their breath on the back of your neck, you might get irritated, frustrated. Okay, that is anger. You're anger. You're experiencing anger. Okay, so there's no demon, but demons use anger to influence you and cloud your mind, which goes into my first mini course that I'm going to talk about. The mini course is called Imagination for Empaths. Okay, and if you are an empath, if you are lacking mind control, if you can't control your mind, if you mumble curses at your ex-boyfriend, ex-husband, ex-wife, ex-girlfriend, when you're washing dishes, when you're all alone, when you're in the shower, when you're driving, your mind is not in your control. Okay, so what you see, you believe, you then become. What you see, you believe, you then become. If you see in your mind that you are broke, you can't pay your rent, you're not going to be rich, then that means you will then not be rich. You believe it. Okay, congratulations. Your imagination's working for you, but in a negative way. The opposite is also true. If you can only see rich, if you can only see abundance, if you can only see, success, growth, then you then will believe it. Then you then will become it. It's just that. So that mini course is for people who want to master their mind, master their imagination. Okay, your imagination is a thing that's always on, but you need to have it work for you. Your mind masters or manages your imagination. All right. So that's one mini course. Another mini course is the spiritually disciplined leader. This is a more in-depth course for the people who are suffering with procrastination. If the ebook book is not enough, or if you want to just jump to the real deal, if you want to just get down to it, the spiritually disciplined leader, it gives you more insights, real step-by-steps, checklist. It gives you things that you can use in real life, just like the ebook, but it's more in depth. And I'm teaching you. It's me on video. And it's there for you. Okay. I also have a bunch of free stuff. So if you don't want to pay for anything, great. I have a 10-step checklist for you to help you with procrastination. I have things for impasse. If you are overwhelmed, I have free checklist there. If you're dealing with a person you might think is possessed with the spirit of Jezebel, I just put that checklist up today, and you can get it. It's 100% free. So just go and check out all the stuff. Everything's linked in the bio below if you're on YouTube, and it's linked in my description in any of my platforms. Okay? I am going to be signing out, but I will stay on for a couple of moments to read some of your comments. My website is my Linktree. When are you started in your spiritual awakening? That just depends on your life and what God has for you. Prayer. Prayer is a process that you do not exit. Pray means to beg or to ask. When you pray, you are talking to God. God does not beg you. God is not asking you for anything. So God does not pray to you. When God talks back to you, it's called intuition. So prayer and intuition are opposites. When you are talking to God, you should talk to God out loud with your mouth, not your mind, because you will be talking to God in your mind and gossiping about somebody else. Okay, everybody. It's been wonderful. Nothing but love coming from me. I want everybody to go over to my YouTube and subscribe there. That's where all the good stuff is at. Next week, we will be talking about desire. And it's not what you think. Trust me. It never is. But desire is something very important. Okay? Very important. My YouTube channel is Woods Ownable, but you can definitely find my YouTube channel inside of my link in the bio. Okay, my link is inside of my bio. Okay, guys, that's it. If you didn't know, now you know.